In his 30 professional MMA fights, Jon Jones has dominated most of them. But the one fight he almost lost, aka the legendary battle against Alexander Gustafsson, truly brought the best out of him. It's the fight that earned him a spot in the Hall of Fame, and we're about to see exactly why. Jon Jones and Alexander Gustafsson started their UFC careers in the same era. Jones entered the UFC light heavyweight fold in August 2008, while Gustafsson joined the big leagues a year later. Their rise to the top was, however, inherently different. Jon Jones made an instant impact in the division with 3 consecutive wins, but he would falter due to an illegal elbow strike against Matt Hamill in his 4th professional UFC fight.
I know I had a good performance. I did something that may have been illegal, and I had to pay the price for it. I don't have an O on my record anymore. But I feel great. I get to go home and see my girls, and now I have no pressure of trying to stay undefeated.
The pressure of not staying undefeated may have worked like magic since Jones went on a tear, bouncing back with a thumping TKO win against Brandon Vera.
What is it like to get in here and smash Brandon Vera?
It was really good. That one was almost personal. He talked a lot of trash, and the reason for the aggression at the weigh-ins and at the stare down. I don't like the trash talk. I said that I would do all the talking in the octagon, and that's exactly what I tried to do.
Jones continued to do his talking inside the cage as he secured another first-round TKO against Vladimir Matyushenko, but his second-round submission win against Ryan Bader at UFC 126 put him in pole position to fight for the belt. Jones's title shot came quicker than anyone expected, as less than 2 months after dismantling Ryan Bader, he was offered the chance to step in for Rashad Evans and didn't hesitate for a second, securing the opportunity of a lifetime.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed by how fast you climbed, or the level of competition that you find yourself facing right now?
No, I don't feel overwhelmed. I'm a hard worker, and I've dedicated my life to this sport completely. So, when you work that hard and you do the right things, you have no reason to doubt yourself. So I feel as if I'm right where I deserve to be.
The timing couldn't have been better for Jones, as he dominated the Brazilian legend for 2 rounds before finishing him with relentless ground and pound in the 3rd to become the youngest champion in UFC history.
Jiu-Jitsu was coming along very strong. I knew that I needed to focus on it to beat such a well-rounded fighter like Shogun, and I'm glad I did focus on that.
Between 2011 and 2013, Jones defended his title against some of the biggest names in MMA, like Quinton Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, and Chael Sonnen. With each dominant performance, whispers of him being the greatest light heavyweight of all time grew louder.
For me, I have to breathe, eat, and sleep this. So aspiring to be the greatest is something I owe to myself, and that's what I want to be, is the greatest. And I believe that's what will happen eventually.
With old school legends in the rearview mirror, Jones now had to face the next generation of light heavyweights, including rising sensation Alexander Gustafsson, who went on a tear all while Jones won and defended his belt 5 times. Gustafsson entered the UFC light heavyweight Shark Tank with a 41-second knockout win against Jared Hammond, but he was handed his first career loss by Phil Davis in his very next fight. The loss made Gustafsson work harder and bounce back with sensational submission wins against Cyril Diabate and James Tehuna.
Striking, you got your 2nd submission win in a row. How have you evolved, and what have you done to evolve as now a complete mixed martial artist and not just a striker?
Yeah, I'm evolving all the time, and thanks to my coaches Andreas Michael and Eric Del Fiero, thanks to Team Alliance, the guys there. Without them, I will still be the same striker I was before. But now I'm slowly getting more complete game, and I develop every day, and I think it's really funny too.
In his next outing, Gustafsson took out Matt Hamill, the only man with a win over Jon Jones, and set his sights on bigger and better challenges.
I want to fight the best guys. I want to do myself a good career and do progress in my training and develop and fight better guys all the time. So one fight at a time.
Gustafsson climbed the ranks with impressive wins over Vladimir Matyushenko, Thiago Silva, and Mauricio Shogun Rua, making way for the biggest challenge of his career.
Do you believe that your physical build will help you negate some of his gifts?
Let's see on fight night.
The battle between the 2 young light heavyweights took place at UFC 165, where many expected Jones to steamroll the Swede.
Gustafsson may be a better striker, but that all goes out the window because not only does Jon fight hard, he's smart. You know, when a guy's a good wrestler, he takes them out of their comfort zone as he did with Chael. And then if he thinks he can outstrike a guy, he'll stand up with him like he did with Rashad. You know, he's able to keep him just at distance. So I think Jon's smart enough to know that he needs to take Gustafsson down. It makes the fight easier for him. And I think he's going to do that, and I think he's going to win the fight.
Gustafsson, however, carried an aura of defiance, and some believed he had the tools to shatter the throne and rewrite the script.
His body and his frame are always going to be a problem. It's very long. He beat Matashenko like it was no problem. Those are big signs as to where he's at. So that's a great fight. That's the right fight.
Even Jones recognized that Gustafsson posed a challenge unlike any he had faced before. For one, Gustafsson was younger and hungrier compared to the guys Jones was facing.
You know, Alexander, he's a great fighter. He really is. I'm excited for the challenge. The thing that excites me most about Alexander is that he's young, and I'm sure he has an ambition to win this fight that I maybe haven't seen in a few opponents. You know, a lot of the guys I've fought are a lot older. A lot of the guys that I'm fighting has had the life and been there and done that already. Alexander doesn't have that, you know, and he wants that. So me knowing that, I got to train my butt off to destroy any thoughts he had of destroying my life.
Gustafsson was just as tall and rangy as Jones, if not more, and he neutralized the physical advantages that had often been the champ's secret weapon. For the first time, Jones wasn't towering over his opponent.
So what kind of challenges does Gustafsson present that your previous opponents haven't?
I would say, you know, his height and his reach, his arms and legs, you know, it's going to be different, you know, a little bit different distancing, and it would require me to have a little different timing. I have to beat him to the punch a little faster because his arms are a little longer. So yeah, just, you know, little range differences.
Have you been watching much tape on him then?
I watch his fights all the time.
Do you?
Oh yes.
Despite the daunting challenge Gustafsson presented, Jones' confidence began to swell as the fight wore on.
Where he's primarily a boxer, man, I really embrace the whole art of kickboxing, the whole art of everything that's not even kickboxing, like the in-between stuff. So, I mean, I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to say that I'm going to try to box him the whole time. I'm going to kickbox him. I'm going to be like water. I'm going to do all types of unpredictable spinning elbows, flying knees, shots, fake shots, all types of stuff. So, I mean, he really needs to be in his game.
Gustafsson, too, had nothing but praise for his opponent. Yet he truly believed he was destined to take everything Jones had fought so hard to build and leave the octagon as the new king.
He's the best guy pound for pound in the world right now. And if I'm going to take someone's belt, it's going to be his. So, you know, I'm super ready. You know, I can't wait for the fight.
Gustafsson entered UFC 165 as a massive plus 425 underdog, but defied expectations by pushing Jones to the brink. In round 1, he cut Jones near the eye and even scored a rare takedown. Round 2 saw Gustafsson land cleaner strikes, while round 3 was a back-and-forth battle, with Jones rocking the challenger with an elbow before eating a left hook. In the championship rounds, Jones took control, but Gustafsson's grit kept him in the fight. After 5 brutal rounds, Jones won a unanimous decision.
Alex, do you think you did enough to win that fight?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, I'm just, you know, I don't know. I learned a lot though from this fight. He's a champ for a reason. To take the belt from the champ, you need to finish him. That's how it is, and I didn't do it.
The fight was an absolute gauntlet for Jones, but it was exactly what he needed to reach that next level.
Man, I tell you what, I've been asking for a dogfight for a long time, and I finally got that dogfight I've been looking for. Tonight was a blessing in so many ways. Got the victory, and I got to prove a lot to myself. I'm not satisfied. I got to do a lot more work in the gym to stay on top of my game.
The MMA community was greatly divided over the result, with some calling the decision bullshit, others calling it terrible, while others thinking Jones deserved to win. 5 years later, in 2018, the two met again, but this time Jones delivered a masterclass, finishing Gustafsson in the 3rd round. The beatdown was so devastating it left the Swede visibly emotional, with him almost holding back tears.
It's pure fighting, and every fight is life-changing for you. So it meant everything to me, and it's a big setback for me now, losing to Jon again. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a sport and we do this because we love it. So,
While their second fight was a one-sided blowout, the first remains an all-time classic, and in 2021, it earned its rightful place in the UFC Hall of Fame.
Jon Jones, UFC Hall of Famer. How does that sound to you?
It feels really cool. It feels really cool. It's been a long time since I've gotten any type of like awards or anything like that, outside of getting new belts. And this is a different feeling. And I'm very honored, very grateful.
A year after their iconic fight was inducted into the Hall of Fame, Alexander Gustafsson parted ways with the UFC following a tough streak of losses. Meanwhile, Jon Jones ascended to the heavyweight division, where he now reigns as champion, recently defending his title against the legendary Stipe Miocic. Jones is so dominant in his new weight class that it's nearly impossible to picture him engaging in a back-and-forth war, like he did against Gustafsson. This means that their legendary clash will forever stand as the greatest test of Jones's storied career. Much like Jones, another UFC legend and Hall of Famer, Jose Aldo, has faced his own fair share of tests, trials, and tribulations. If you're keen to see more gripping content, check out all the times Aldo experienced a loss in MMA.